So we have
Welcome in, everyone, to yet another DHC Game Day live stream. I am your host, Cole Martin. Alongside me is my co-host,
Griff
Rimhall. Griff, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling well. Feeling a little hot, a little itchy.
It is a little warm today.
It's not doing wonders for anything, and as you and I are both experiencing, the jackets are not doing anything for the heat as well. But all in all, thankful to be here, and I'm ready to get into some stats, get into some discussions, and ready to get into some interviews.
Yeah, it has been a minute since we have been behind the stable, Griff.
Absolutely.
The Vikes have hit a 3-game road trip, and let's start by recapping that real quick. So, of course, the Vikes started off the season winning that game against Laney 14-7.
And hopes were high.
Hopes were very high. There was some iffy stuff that happened at the end of the game. No suspensions were handed out by the state, thank goodness. Then they hit the road for that first game of the road trip at Northeastern, and that's when we thought things were going to be a little shaky because Northeastern had a great season last year, going 15-1. They had a really long home game win streak going. I don't know what that exact number was.
Really? And
then Conley broke that.
I mean, by the looks of it, that was a good game.
And they beat them pretty handily.
Great comeback. And yes. Farmville happened, and Cole and I were both at
Farmville. My goodness, yes.
And it's really hard to look at exactly what happened, but it just seemed like it was an off day for a lot of the field. I mean, like, we don't want to point fingers, we don't want to point blame, and we don't want to focus on the lows, but it was a low moment for Conley football.
It was.
I mean, that's a season they should have gone 3-0 to start.
Yes.
No clue how Garner really went. You know, that might have been just
Garner is a very tough team. They're one of those Raleigh area schools.
Exactly, but Farmville was a game we should have won. So
that was
really,
a winnable game. Yes.
Really quite disappointing to see that.
And what was even more frustrating was that the Vikes were leading 26-15 going into halftime, and then gave up all those points in the second half and didn't put up any points for themselves in the second half.
I mean, you never want to see you in the game with the same amount of points you had at halftime. That's just that's not good. But there's only so much you can do.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about volleyball for a moment.
Yes.
Now, volleyball is 12-1. They're 5th in all of North Carolina and 3rd in, that says 3A. It's meant to say 7A. 3rd in the 3A or 7A conference. And that is impressive. The only loss that they suffered was against Cardinal Gibbons. And obviously, Cardinal Gibbons is incredible. Knocked them out of the state playoffs in the Final Four last year.
They did.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm sure neither of us know this off the top of our heads, but Cardinal Gibbons has got to be 1st or 2nd in 7th.
Probably, yes.
Or 2nd
I haven't looked at it myself either, but yes, they are. They're probably up there, and they actually are in the 7A classification.
Yeah.
And I would have figured that they'd be in 8A because gosh, they're a private school. You got to pay a bunch of money to get into a field. And when we went and played there a couple of years ago in soccer, it seemed like the campus was thriving with students.
Of course. I mean, I actually think they were in 6A, and then they sued to get up to 7A.
Wow, interesting. See, I would have put them in 8A myself personally and made them go through all those Wilmington schools because you know how those Wilmington schools are.
Absolutely. But, I mean, you know what? Out of our control now, and I trust our volleyball team to go and put up a good fight when they see them next.
Yes, absolutely. All right, moving on. Griff, Conley hasn't played Ayden Grifton in quite some time, and you guys went and answered some questions on our page yesterday, some trivia questions, and Griff, I think I have it listed here without looking, and I don't know if you looked at the poll. When was the last time Conley played Ayden Grifton in football?
I know it's in the 2010s, and I know it's not later. I'm thinking it's around 2013 to 2016 range. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Make a guess. Educated guess.
2016.
2016 is correct.
Beautiful.
And there we have listed the stat lines of Holton Ahlers and C.J. Johnson. Holton was a junior that year, and that was C.J.'s outstanding sophomore year where he had, I think it was 1,700 yards receiving.
Not only that, but
crazy.
Conley won 54. And typically when you look at winning by 54, you think that's an insane margin of victory. But Ayden Grifton was only trailing with 42, and that's not crazy. That's only 12 points. And that's a high scoring.
It was a very high scoring game. And let me read off those stat lines. Holton Ahlers was 20 of 32 in passing, 387 yards. That's a lot of yards for a high school football game. 4 touchdowns, only one interception. Yes, absolutely. But, man, this is when it gets crazy right here. C.J. Johnson, 8 catches for 258 yards.
Wow.
That average yard per catch ratio was 32.3. That is ridiculous, Griff.
That is incredible. I mean, looking at it, 32, that's a good third of the field.
I mean, just think about, like, looking at the field.
It's from us to where about Coach Smith is right now.
And, like, that's
Even
per
further.
catch. Like, that's per catch. Like,
Right.
that's insane.
I mean, to only get 8 receptions, that you would look at that and you'd say, that's not that many. He probably didn't produce anything noteworthy out of that. But I mean,
and
3 touchdowns.
3
out
of those catches
8
were touchdowns.
receptions.
Yes.
That's incredible.
That is very, very incredible. And so now here we are 9 years later, hoping for another win against the Chargers of Ayden Grifton. Shout out JV last night, actually, real quick. They took care of business last night at Ayden Grifton, won 24-14 is what I had been told. So we got to give our props to JV real fast.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm going ahead and looking at the stats right here.
Yeah.
Ayden Grifton is 3-1. That is a better record than us. We're 2-2.
That is correct.
And I think records can be deceiving.
Yes.
I don't know much about this team, so I'm hoping you're about to tell me. But records can be deceiving, and I don't think 3-1 should really swear decisions, especially given that that's only a 1-game difference. You said right here, offense seems good, defense doesn't look great.
Right.
And I just want to talk on that for a moment because I think that'll come in come in clutch for us because I think our defense is outstanding.
I also would agree. Now, I mean, last week was a little difficult. Garner hung 50 on the defense.
Did they?
But, I mean, that's just how Garner is.
Yeah.
All of those Raleigh area schools are going to be that good. So that was a really good test for Conley. Gives them, some tough competition, especially going into conference play here in a few weeks. But from what I saw in Max Preps, I haven't really looked at film or anything, but their defense doesn't look all that great.
Right.
They've given up a lot of points throughout those 4 games. I was trying to look for impact players, and I didn't really see anyone too noteworthy here, except Larry Greer III, actually, here on the list. He plays corner, 33 total tackles on the season. Yes, and that's 8.3 tackles a game on average. 3 of those tackles were for a loss, 1 interception there. They only have 2 sacks on the season registered, so I also noticed that maybe we won't see as much defensive line pressure tonight. As mentioned before the game started, Ross Chandler is not going to be playing tonight.
Rest in peace, Ross Chandler. Fly high.
There won't be as much of a need on the offensive line tonight if there's not going to be much defensive line pressure.
Absolutely. Now I'm looking at this as well. John Fields, I don't know if you already mentioned him.
I have not. He's our other impact player, though.
He's the quarterback. He's a senior as well. 764 yards. I'm assuming
that is good.
Making the safe assumption
games.
This is not all in one game.
That's not bad. Right. Yes. Right.
Right. Okay. Good assumption to make there. 764 yards. That's not terrible.
That's all right.
I mean, you said in 4 games. That's an average of
You got it.
Never mind.
Yeah. Don't even try it.
Just not even gonna try it.
But hey, a little bit of a noteworthy stat here. His longest passing play is 94 yards. And that was actually to Nigel Morgan here.
291 yards a game.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for the calculations there, Griff. But yes, that was to Nigel Morgan. That his longest is of course 94 yards from Fields. And Morgan has 18 catches, 434 yards on the season so far. That's good. He's averaging over 100 yards a game. That's what you'd hope to see out of a receiver, and maybe your wide receiver one as well. That's 24.1 yards on average, which that is also exceptionally well. And considering what if I have a long first down to gain, and he's able to pick that up relatively easily. He has 6 touchdowns on the season receiving wise, and he also has 1 rushing touchdown, so 7 combined touchdowns on the season for Nigel Morgan.
Absolutely.
All right,
Sean Pollard, did you already mention him?
I have not mentioned Sean Pollard yet.
Sean Pollard, he's a senior. He's a linebacker. 23 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack and 1 interception. Now, Cole, explain to me. Is that good? Is that bad? Where is that?
That's not bad. I mean, you can tell that he has the pressure. He gets in the backfield a little bit more than others, maybe. He has those 3 tackles for loss, and he has the other sack. But he's also handsy. He's not just some guy that's only going to be there for the pressure and lighten up the in routes or the slants. He's there. He can make the catches too. I mean, he has an interception on the year already. You don't typically see many linebacker interceptions on the season.
Of course. Do we have any linebackers that have an interception?
I do not think so. I think we only have 2 interceptions. Dallas Carmen had 1, and Levette, I think is his last name. Lowell, I can't think of what his last name is. But moving on to the DHC stats, DHC Conley is 2-2 on the season. Started off the season pretty hot. 2-game win streak.
Absolutely.
Big win to start the season against Laney. That was a very gritty game against Laney, 14-7. Absolutely exploded in the second half versus Northeastern, and started things hot on the season. And then we reached Farmville Central. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence there in that game. No offensive production there in the second half. 2 pick sixes were thrown, and that kind of contributed. I don't think that was much on the defense in that game.
Parker Rowland.
But yes, that was a very frustrating game to start off that 2-game losing streak. Vikes looking to get back in the win column tonight versus Ayden.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's worth mentioning those games are needed. Those are growing pains. You know, those are not the Conley that we're going to see tonight. Or at least I don't think that's Conley we're going to see tonight. I don't think it's the average Conley football team. I think that was a struggle getting into the groove of things, getting into the season. And I think now that they've played a few games, especially coming back home to this home crowd after not playing with them for 3 weeks, I think we're going to see a different Conley team. I think even better, even more prolific than what we saw versus Laney, because I think they had that moment where they were down, and I think they've only grown stronger from it.
Yes, well, we'll see how that goes tonight. Ayden Grifton, I don't think, is as strong of an opponent as the past 2 weeks, but we will see how that goes tonight. We'll see what the offense cooks up tonight and draws up. So, of course, as I mentioned, they started off 2-0 and have gone 0-2 since. They lost, dropped a tough one last week to Garner, as we mentioned, 50-19. We do have a few impact players on the offensive side of the ball. Elijah Taft, he has been taking the majority of the carries. He's been splitting with Kalijah Booth, but it's been mainly Taft. You know, with the loss of Krishan over this offseason, he hit the transfer portal over to JP2. There's some, if you want to call it NIL, I guess, but scholarship was provided there. But Elijah Taft has done great so far. He has 351 yards total on the season. 6.5 yards on average is that. 87.8 yards a game is the average there. He's got 3 touchdowns on the season, and he actually has 2 different games where he has gone off for 100-plus yards.
Right, I mean,
so he's been doing well.
That's 2 out of 4. That's half of the games.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Would you say Conley is more of a run-heavy team as of late?
I'd say so. Yes, I don't feel like we've thrown the ball downfield as much. Now, granted, in that first half versus Farmville Central, I think they realized that Shema was able to get past their defense relatively easy, and so there were a few deep balls. I don't know if you recall. You know, that first one was overthrown on Shema, but then they were able to hit Shema for that touchdown there in the second quarter. So the deep ball was working, and it was there. And so I'm hoping to see a little bit more of that tonight. But yes, I feel like the run game has been more dominant in these past couple of games.
I'm curious, if you're asked to bet on it, I know you're a bit of a gambling man. You talk about hitting the slots constantly. If you were going to bet on it,
no, that's you. That's you with the Angry Birds, Mr. Haddock's class.
No. Let's not get this twisted here. You have always been the gambler out of the 2 of us.
Sure.
Constantly. Back when Roblox was a thing, it was all, let's hit the Roblox casino.
Well, we hardly did it, though. It was Roblox racing, though.
Because I wasn't a gambler. That's what it was. But
you are now.
If you were asked to bet on it, do you think they're going to throw more this game? Given what you know about the defense.
I would bet, let's play a little guessing game here. Right. What do you say?
I'm down for that.
Over under 175 yards passing tonight.
Now let's see. So if Shema was to catch like a slant, per se, and take it, would that count as yards to Samari or no?
Well, of course, yes.
If that does, then I'm going over because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Okay. I would say take the over on that. Yeah. I feel like Samari needs a little bit of a bounce back. To my knowledge, he didn't throw any interceptions last week, so he had a little bit better of a game. Also, not to mention, he had a touchdown pass to our guy Harris Jones. Shout out Harris. He wanted his own little shout out. But yes, I'm expecting a little bit more of a passing game today. But with that being said, let's move on to our defensive player of the game, or our impact player on defense that we want to highlight.
Infiltrating my wig, Cole.
What's that?
I've got a bug infiltrating my wig.
Oh no.
I think I'm okay. I think I'll make it through.
We can carry on.
I'd ask for a moment of silence if that's not too much. Yeah,
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Okay, all right. We're back, I guess. But yes, our defensive impact player is Landon Basilano, man. You're going to hear his name every game of the season. We said it at the very start of the season. He's going to be our impact player all season long. He's got 42 total tackles He is first in the conference as we speak in tackles, and that's 42nd in the state. He is averaging 10.5 tackles a game, 3 of those for a loss, and he actually has a sack and a half. And so he has been getting it done. He's been getting in the backfield. Someone to look out for tonight, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I mean, let's look at who else we have down here. Caden Lemeve, he's a senior.
He has been someone on the radar as of late, someone that I've really been picking up on. He's been getting in the backfield quite a lot, and he's pretty tall for a defensive lineman, especially in high school at this level. But he has 24 total tackles on the season. 9 of those tackles for a loss. 9.
Yep.
That's pretty good. And he leads the team in sacks with 4 sacks, which that is really good. That is
absolutely
more than Ayden Grifton's combined sack total.
Absolutely. And then I noticed we did put Samari Cabell down here. Of course, he's a quarterback. Yes. Your quarterbacks tend to be your impact players, whether that be a good or a bad impact, because they truthfully make the game. And I think Samari has had a really good impact on DH Conley. Now, his stats, he has 538 yards, like we said. Compared to the Ayden Grifton quarterback who had 700, there's definitely a discrepancy there, but we have not thrown the ball as much. We consistently run it. He has 3 touchdowns, and those are 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, or is that 3 rushing touchdowns or 3 touchdowns?
Yes, 3 passing, 1 rushing.
Okay, 3 thrown, 1 rush, and then 5 interceptions and a .495 completion. Now, once again, I will say stats don't always reflect how the player is. I think that while Samari might have thrown a few picks, throughout the season, I really am expecting to see a great bounce-back game from him, and I think this will push him well over the 500 completion rate. Because I think, when you pass less, you have less contributing to your pass rate. I think it's as clear and simple as that.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. So those are our impact players for Conley. Just a couple of key notes to think there. As we said, look out for the passing game. Maybe that will be a little bit more dominant tonight. We didn't get a chance to ask Coach Connor. He was out here getting some interviews and with WITN, as that's actually the game of the week. I don't know if you know this. And that was actually the game of the week against Farmville Central as well. And I didn't know this.
Now, what does WITN cover? Just like the Pitt County Greenville area? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it works. But I don't know if you can notice up there on the press box right there. Do you see that camera up there
I did
on the very top? That's going to be the live feed on WITN's actual channel.
Really?
And so that's how it worked versus Farmville Central as well.
I was going to say, Mr. Haddock was live watching that game. He actually had a watch party.
He did have a watch party for
some of his friends that live in DH Conley. Yeah.
Yes.
But he actually texted me during the game. And, I mean, if you were to take a guess, Cole, what do you think Mr. Haddock texted me of all things? I'm just gonna tell you.
Where are you? Or
I'm just gonna tell you.
I don't know.
He texted me, "Did you get a $1 hot dog yet?" And that's
you did say that.
I did say that. Now Farmville, they started giving out their hot dogs for $1 near the end of the second half, and apparently on WITN's live stream, that's all Mr. Haddock could hear. He said there'd be
you're right. I do remember hearing that.
Very little sound. You could hear little bits and pieces of commentary here. Then all of a sudden, the guy would just erupt into, "Oh, you got to get a $1 hot dog," something along the lines.
Oh my goodness! Wow. I don't think you'll be hearing that on tonight's live stream, but that is pretty funny. I also have a funny story about Farmville Central.
Do you?
So my guy Isaac Congleton, I was hanging out with him and a few others at that game. He snuck in his mac and cheese from Bojangles.
Really?
He didn't have any utensils, so he goes up to the concession stands. They hand him a spoon. It's a metal spoon. It is a metal spoon that they handed him. Who has metal spoons at a high school?
Who has metal spoons? What a quote. What a quote.
Yeah,
straight to the Instagram.
And so I don't know if that spoon got washed or not. I hope it did, but oh my word. Who uses metal spoons at a high school game? Did Isaac keep the
spoon or did he give it back?
I think he gave it back. I think he returned it. I would have kept it. I would have kept it too. As a keepsake.
Maybe that's a poor show on my character, but like, how often is it that you get a metal spoon, truthfully?
It's quite hilarious. Also, I do want to mention one thing in the chat. I have gotten a chat notification from Landon Maple. He has asked, who do we think is going to win the game? And Landon, all I have to say to you is you will have to find out here in about 15 minutes when we make our picks. And so, this is normally our time when we move on to our
I did my math wrong. I was thinking back
to
it. Yeah, let me just double check this.
Griff's got to do his math.
191. That's the proper math.
191. Way to go.
I did double check that. 764. Oh wait, 734
You got it.
divided by 4. Put your 4 goes into 7 once. That leaves you 3. 36.
Are you taking math this
There's
semester?
a 9. I am.
What math class are you in?
Statistics with Miss
Oh.
Long at PCC.
You should have taken that next semester. I'm taking that class.
It's a wonderful class, actually.
Is it really?
Well, what we've done so far is all stuff I know, and so, truthfully, I go into class every day, and I do my homework, and then I kind of tune out a little bit.
Do you think it attributes to DHC Game Day stuff?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's been all about
that's why I really want to
experiments, probabilities, stuff like that.
Because I hear that there is sports-related stuff in statistics.
Haven't found any yet
in the class.
but I'm sure there is something. Now I'm looking for our interview guest. I could have sworn I saw him a moment ago. I know Bella went to retrieve him.
Bella did go to get him.
Wow, this is wonderful.
Well, while we have a moment, let's talk about that football game last night, Griff.
What football game? Oh my goodness.
Let's hear your rant about Tua Tagovailoa. Tua turned the ball over.
It's not much. It's a simple rant. There's not even much to say at this point. Zach Wilson should be in.
Zach Wilson, you are QB1 next week.
Now, here's what I'll say.
Brimhall.
The Dolphins did a better job than I thought, especially against
I agree, because when I turned the game on when I got home last night, it was 28-21, and I was impressed. I was like, I can't believe the Dolphins have kept up this much.
And so have I. And part of me likes to think that the Dolphins are better than the record shows, but at this point, when you start 0-3, you have to just start wondering, is this when you go for the number 1 pick? Like, is it even worth it to get better for the second half of the year if you're not going to go anywhere? I mean, the Dolphins aren't Super Bowl contenders. They're a very middle-of-the-road team, and that's the worst place to be, is stuck in the middle of the road.
Now, let me ask you, what week would you, at what point would you fire Mike McDaniel?
That's the thing, is I don't look into
what record would it get to?
I don't look into the stats
enough,
and I don't know how much of it is on the coach, how much is on the team. Like, even the best coach, you can only do so much with a team, and even the best team is going to outshine any poor coach, in my opinion. I think if the team was truly that great, regardless of who was coaching them, you could throw me out there, give me a headset, and I think they'd still do a good job. I don't think the coaching attributes that much. Now, could a change of pace be good for the Dolphins? Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But I don't know who that coach would be. There's no one in the NFL that
there's not very many
picked up.
Hey, there is one coach that has retired. He did actually coach for the Miami Dolphins at one point, and since then he went to college.
Who are you thinking that is?
And won multiple championships, and is now on College Game Day. Is Nick Saban? What if you got Nick Saban out of retirement?
Nick Saban's not coming out of retirement.
He wouldn't. But Tua is his guy. He played Tua in that national championship game.
But Nick Saban's not coming out of retirement.
He also has Jalen Waddle. He went there.
But Nick Saban's not coming out of retirement.
I say you write him a letter.
I would love.
Write him a letter, get him out of retirement.
Maybe I will. But I would love to sit here and fantasize. What does it say?
Yes. We asked him to bypass the line.
Well, either way, I'd love to sit here and dream and fantasize about Nick Saban coming to join the Miami Dolphins, but it's not going to happen.
Accidentally.
And at that point, I just think I'm getting my hopes up for nothing.
Yes. Well, the next 2 weeks for the Dolphins is the Jets and then the Panthers. So something has to be done, because those are two opponents that are not quality.
Those 2 games, I'm going back to being a Rams fan.
You should be a Rams fan.
I've always been a bit of a Rams fan.
Just because of them being
I follow the Rams on Instagram. I check their scores every game. I hope for them to win. I'm a huge Puka fan.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, you also have Puka Nacua.
Given that he went to BYU. But part of me just feels like I can't back bandwagon, especially given that they are an LA team. I think that they are an LA team. They get countless celebrities joining their team. Wow, the hair is in my face.
I can tell. Well, hey, while we have a few extra minutes, let's see what's going on back here. Do you know
yellow jerseys?
Do you notice anything different? Yes, the yellow jerseys. And I did not know that was going to be coming in with the new jerseys. Shoot, the last time we live streamed, we didn't even know that they were ordering new jerseys. But yes, they ordered brand new blue, white. I don't know. Did they order brand new black jerseys? I'm not even sure. But they have yellow jerseys. We know that much. But they honestly look.
Here they come.
Look kind of clean. They look kind of clean.
It looks like we've got our guests coming up.
We have our guests coming up here.
What time are we looking at, Cole?
We are at 6:32, so we got time.
6:32, and I think we'll be good by 6:45.
All right.
You can just come right on.
How are you?
How's it going today? Nice to meet you. Yeah, you're okay.
Well, we are.
I had a wig on a moment ago that I took off.
I'm loving the shirt.
So what is this on?
This is on YouTube. Do you want to do your mic?
All right. Yeah, I can pull my mic out.
All right, guys, very special guest this evening. We have Clip Brock. Clip went to Conley, and he is the host of all things Pirate Radio today. Clip, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Cole.
Yeah, did you have a good show today?
We did. A lot of football talk, a little high
Yes.
school, ECU, NFL.
Yeah. Well, we will be getting to some of that stuff.
Football game.
Yes.
The one tomorrow. Now, Clip, I am an avid BYU fan myself.
Really?
I've grown up a BYU fan. My parents went to BYU. My sister and my brother are both accepted going to BYU. And so I'm just thinking, what are your thoughts on the game tomorrow?
I love it, first of all. I love the regional rivalries, but getting a national brand like BYU in town is great. So I love it from that standpoint. I wish they were top 25. I think if your quarterback didn't leave, they would be in the top 25.
I think so.
If we could get 0-2 Notre Dame out of the top 25, then maybe BYU would be in the top 25. But I love the game as far as the matchup. I think it should be fun, two different styles. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. See, I really do think had Jake Retzoff not left, we would be one of the best teams in the nation. I also think that should they beat ECU tomorrow, that could push them up into the top 25. Their main problem is they haven't played any continued teams.
And they've only played 2 teams up to this point. They haven't played 3 teams like ECU has.
They had a bye week late last week.
Am I allowed to ask you questions?
You are.
How do you feel about a week 3 bye? Kind of early, right?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize they had a bye until I was looking to keep up with the game, and I couldn't find them. And all I can think is, weeks are going to pass without any rest.
Right.
And then I think near the end of the season, that could lead to kind of a fall off for them. But yeah, now can I ask, who do you think will win the game tomorrow?
So all week I've said BYU is going to win. As we get closer to kickoff, I'm liking the Pirates more and more because of, your freshman quarterback. This is his first kind of big atmosphere on the road, right? So I like ECU from that standpoint. If I had to pick, I'll take BYU in a very close game.
I love to hear that.
This table is going to be divided over the weekend. Maybe Griff and I will hang out a little bit pregame tomorrow.
If you see me, Cole, I'll be in all my BYU games.
I bet you will. I might be wearing my overalls again this week. But let's jump into some questions for you, Clip. Now, Clip, I'm not really too familiar with your journey through high school and college up to Pirate Radio. Can you kind of walk us through what all transpired through those years?
Yeah, it wasn't much of a journey. It was because I grew up on Vernon White Road in Winterville.
Okay.
I went to W.H. Robinson, A.G. Cox, D.H. Conley, Pitt Community College, ECU. So I've lived here my entire life.
Right.
In like a 15-mile radius. My athletic career, I played freshman baseball, broke my thumb, and it ended my entire athletic career.
Oh, my goodness.
So I could have been great.
You would have been pro.
I could have been great. But that was fun. Was part of the Conley Crazies, basketball, football, loved going to games, doing all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I love what you're doing, man. I was part of the Shield. They still call it that?
The yearbook?
The newspaper.
Oh, the newspaper. No, they disbanded that. And they actually were trying to kickstart that and they were going to try and get me and Griff to join and do that. And it
just fell apart, I think.
fell apart.
Yeah, well, so I wrote sports and did that. Started doing radio stuff right out of Conley at small stations and stuff, doing sports, producing and stuff. Long story short, went to ECU, interned at Pirate Radio while I was there. And a couple years after I graduated, got kind of a part-time and then eventually a full-time job, and been there really since 2007. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Now, can I ask, how big was Pirate Radio when you went over there?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, not as big as it is now with YouTube and everything we're doing social media-wise, because it was just radio then, and it was just AM radio. So it was kind of like a cult following type deal. I remember listening when it first came out because I was a sports talk junkie. I love sports talk radio.
Me too.
So I remember it then. But yeah, it's definitely grown a lot. We had like 4 employees or whatever, and now it's maybe double digits, but a lot of social media stuff, YouTube, all that stuff.
Absolutely. And what has it been like to see Pirate Radio grow, and especially what has it been like to know you've had a role in that?
It's cool. I'm like a celebrity in a 2-mile radius.
It's further than that.
Walking up here, security guy stopped me. He was like, "No, sir, you can't go through." And then he started laughing, and he was like, "Yeah, I about called in on the 5th quarter," so he knew who I was. So, but yeah, man, like I love talking to fans and stuff, and I get a kick out of sometimes I'm pretty miserable on the 5th quarter taking drunk people's calls, but but the fans like love it, and that's their favorite show. So yeah, it's fun to just talk football with people that I meet out in public. You know.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, so each night before I go to bed, I try and watch a little bit of YouTube before I wind down and all. And up on my recommended, of course, I'm subscribed to Pirate Radio TV. There was ECU versus Charlotte of last year's game, fifth quarter, and I turned it on and gave myself a good little laugh about the callers, that
Yeah.
called in that night. There were some interesting calls.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I know that it gets boring and long at times, especially oh my goodness, the night games.
Yeah. So after the Campbell win, we were on the air maybe 2 hours, and we got maybe 20 calls. If ECU loses, we're on the air 3+ hours, and we get 50 calls. So, or if it's a big win, like
Yes.
if we beat BYU, it'll be a positive 3 hours with 50 calls. But losses, big wins, those are obviously going to get the most buzz. So.
Oh my goodness, the Liberty game last year, staying up that late too with the
was
delay.
brutal. That was pretty bad. Yeah.
But that gave us some entertainment on our way over to our housing.
I like that too. That people
that
say, "Hey
night.
man, I've driven from the stadium back to Raleigh or Greensboro. Thanks for keeping us entertained."
Right? Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, I think the exact same way. That's what I do as well. Griff, you want to take the next question?
I can. So I put on here, is it true you attended DH Conley? Obviously, Cole already went ahead and covered that. Are there any teachers who were teaching when you were here and are still here?
Oh, that I don't know.
Well,
who's here?
What year did you graduate?
2000.
Mr. Sawyer was here probably.
So I'm a year younger than your dad and a year older than your aunt.
Yes, that is correct. I think Mr. Sawyer was there. He knows my grandfather. My grandfather was working here then.
So Maloney's, he's like a big town AD, right? He's not at Conley.
He's not here anymore.
You're Coach Mack now.
Is his wife here?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, then, just while you were at Conley.
Oh, Jason Mills first started.
Oh, really?
Before I
that
left.
year. Wow.
It was like his second or maybe first or second year.
Interesting.
When I left, yeah.
Now, did you have a favorite teacher when you were here at Conley? You can be honest.
We may not know them, but if you would like to, appreciate them for a moment.
Who did I like at Conley? I had Miss Baker at Cox and Conley. She was cool. Miss Balance, I just saw her at the Pirate Radio football kickoff party.
Miss Balance.
Yeah.
That's an interesting last name.
Yeah.
That's very unique.
Shout out
very
her.
unique.
She's a Pirate Radio fan. She's cool.
Okay.
Let's see. I'd have to think on that.
Absolutely.
Oh, Mr. Gillikin.
Okay, he's still working here.
Every time I see him.
Yes, I forgot that he was working.
Retired last year.
Well, I still see him out here, and so I thought he did retire, but I still see him.
He drives a cross-country bus, so he might be out here to drive the bus for a lot of people.
I had major senioritis. I was so bad in his class, and I feel bad. And every time I see him, I'm like, Mr. Gillikin, you didn't deserve that. You're the man. But, yeah, he's awesome. I love Mr. Gillikin.
That's really neat. Now, I don't know why they're doing this because they said 650 was national anthem.
They did start the marching.
Now, that's not cool.
To, stand up?
You will stand up.
This happens every live stream.
Right after, I think we're good to ask one more question, and I think we can hop into our picks for the day.
Yes, we can do that after the break.
All right, cool. Do you have any other questions, or should we just hop into picks?
I do not have any other questions.
No further questions.
Well, then, Clip, here's how it's going to work. Cole, do you have his papers, or do I have them?
Oh, we have papers up here.
So we have papers. They're double-sided. We'll announce the matchup that we're going to,
Alright.
and then we'll talk about it for a brief moment. Cole, let us know a little bit so you're educated guessers, and then we'll make our pick. So, Cole, why don't you bring us into the first matchup?
All right, first matchup is Northern Nash at South Central. As we know, last year, Northern Nash gashed Conley with the run game. Their running back had, I think, 4 touchdowns in that game. He was really good. They ended up losing to Rose in the playoffs last year. Do you remember that, Griff?
I did not know about that.
Rose
I know
had
went
a
further.
run. Yes, they only had a couple wins on the season. But with that being said, we can go ahead and make our pick.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh,
Cole. Okay.
Interesting.
So it looks like Clip and I have picked the same way. Now, I'll let you go ahead and know. I picked mine just because I do like to see South Central get a few wins. I like to see Rose get a few wins because I think it makes the game more competitive when Conley's going to go out and play them. And that's just something I'm looking forward to. And I think South Central can put up a fight.
My daughter is a junior at South Central. Go Falcons.
Okay.
All right.
That seems like a
There's
very
the pick.
valid
reasonable.
reason. I have down here that Northern Nash already took down Rose to start the season. South looks strong to start the season already for them. I just feel like Northern Nash is going to take this one, though.
Absolutely. Then what's our next matchup, Cole?
We have New Bern at, I don't even know how to say this high school's name, Griff. How? You know how to
That's
say that?
Hoff. That's got to be Hoff.
We'll go Hoff.
Well, yeah, we'll go Hoff. Okay. All right.
All righty. Reveal in 3, 2, 1.
Interesting. Again,
See, Cole, why'd you go New Bern? I've got to ask.
they've had a really good season so far. They beat Havelock pretty well just earlier in the season. I mean, of course, Rose beat them as well, Havelock. So maybe Havelock's having a down year, but they also beat West Craven. We know a notable alumni that went to West Craven.
Do
Justin
you?
Hardy.
Justin Hardy. You are correct.
Awesome.
Here, Bill.
See, I
Yes.
just saw that Hoff went 4-0. Or they are 4-0. And their mascot looks awesome. Or their logo looks awesome. So I just had to pick them. Vibes were right.
Do you want to know what's crazy about this school, though?
What is?
They are from the Charlotte area.
Really?
I'm sorry to use my phone on the air.
No, it's fine.
I was looking up, trying to see the mileage between, because that's why I picked Hoff.
Uh-huh.
because
It is a
of the-
very long
the
trip.
road trip they
Oh,
take.
incredibly
Yeah.
so.
Yes.
Brian North told me that today on
Really?
the show. So
Yeah, I was surprised to see that happen. I was like, man, I can't believe they would have scheduled that.
which I love, kind of like it's almost like a state championship matchup.
Right.
Being a team from
For
that
sure.
far.
Yes. All right, next
All right, our
matchup,
next pick is Rose at, what is that?
Middle
Oh.
Creek.
Middle Creek. Okay, perfect. 3, 2, 1. Oh, this is our first matching pick.
Okay.
We all went with
interesting.
Middle Creek. I just picked them because their only loss was to Garner. And obviously, I can't hold that against them, given that Garner hung 50 on DH Conley.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Middle Creek. Rose started off the season a little okay-ish. I think they're starting to pick up some steam, but I still feel like looks like the SMU Mustangs to me. But Middle Creek, I think they'll get the dub.
I know this about Middle Creek. They're not J.H. Rose. I will never pick J.H. Rose.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
I like Will Bland, the head coach, but I'll never pick
You
Rose.
love to see that.
All right, I love it. I love it.
And now our best pick, the one everyone's been waiting for.
I want to make
Conley,
a quick
Ayden
note
Griffin.
before we get into this
Make
pick.
your note, Cole.
We put up on a poll on our Instagram yesterday, getting the fans to vote. 91% of y'all said Conley was going to win, so that is the fan vote for the week for Conley versus Ayden Grifton. So let's go ahead and make our picks.
3, 2, 1. Boom.
You already know
That is what you love to see.
Conley is going to get the dub tonight.
Beautiful.
Any closing remarks, Griff?
I have confidence in Conley. I think the home crowd after 3 weeks on the road is going to invigorate them. I think they're going to play with a lot of fight, and I think this will be a refreshed, great Conley performance. I think it'll be one of the best we see all season.
Good point. Did not realize they've been on the road for so long.
Yes.
Nate Connor's going to have the boys ready tonight. Big win. And when's conference play begin?
2 weeks.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get a dub or two before conference play. I feel like they do it tonight.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel like the momentum can shift tonight here. I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Cole, you got anything else to say before we close up?
We apologize for the Instagram stuff. We have spent so many hours trying to research, trying to find out what in the world is going on, why Instagram is not letting us live stream. At least we are able to live stream here on YouTube. So that's what we got for now. Our next live stream is going to be 2 weeks from today against White Oak, as conference play will start. The Vikes are on a bye next week. And so we'll get our first look at White Oak as they are fresh into the conference.
Absolutely, and I just cannot wait to see that. But that's going to be in 2 weeks, of course, so be on the lookout for that, and be on the lookout for other content that will be coming over the next few weeks. And I think that's going to be it from us.
Thank you very much, Clip.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it. Stay tuned for the post-game analysis tonight after the game, guys. And as always, go Vikes.
Go Vikings.
Go Vikings.